welcome into the Depressed Dallas Boys podcast, where we talk on everything Cowboys in the NFL. I'm your host, Noah, joined by Cabe, Justin, and Miles today. Damian is still out, and Sebastian was unable to make it today. Got a kind of a shorter episode today, but we're just going to start right off with talking about the Philadelphia Eagles. But before we do that, guys, how are we doing today? We having fun?
Yo.
I'm doing good.
I
man.
might have
How about
secured
you, bro?
mine shit. I don't know. Shit.
Cal,
Things
no,
are
I'm
going good.
playing.
So, obviously on Sunday, the Super Bowl, Philadelphia versus Kansas City. Philadelphia won 40-22. They were up at one point by 40-6, and allowed Kenny Pickett to get his shine in the Super Bowl, which is something I never thought I'd ever say. I was unable to watch the Super Bowl because I'm old and I slept through it, except the halftime show. So
You had to say the obvious, bro.
Yeah, man, we know.
So, guys, what the hell happened?
BCA, obviously.
Belt to ass, bro. Like literally, like just imagine a badass kid in Walmart. They black ass mama come over here. Sit your ass down. Boom. Just imagine
Yeah.
that the whole
The,
fucking-
But
the
on some
Chiefs
real-
looked terrible, bro.
Oh yeah,
On some real analysis.
Yeah, like someone
Mahomes
fucked that girl in front of
ain't have
him.
no Mahomes ain't have no O-line all through the year, and it showed. And like
I mean, not really.
Yeah,
He had three all pros on his O line.
that don't mean shit. They couldn't protect them. Like
That don't mean
Well,
shit.
it was the Phillies. It was Phillies fucking.
They had the
defensive
best
line.
defense in the league, bro.
Their defensive
Still,
line is
though.
insane. I mean, just imagine.
They have criminals on
Right.
there, bro. They have actual criminals on that defensive line, bro. What else you
But
gonna
I
say?
can
literally-
say that the Chiefs
they literally
more-
won almost all their games in one-score games. Like they should have never been
Well,
there in the first place. Honestly, I'm
Facts,
sorry.
like the way they won games, bro. That was not gonna translate to a championship, bro.
Oh no.
Like they won games, one score games, bro.
Literally.
You can't rely on the refs to go all the way. You can't like they went as far as they could, but you saw what happens when they couldn't rely on certain calls. You know what I'm saying?
They
And-
can rely on certain calls and certain plays.
And they
Exactly.
forgot all about every other player and focused on Saquon. Yes, Saquon was bulldozing through the playoffs, but you forget
Well-
they got two wide receiver ones, a great ass defense,
Shit.
and Jalen Hurts is nice. He's elite.
What the?
He's
And a
proven
good
he's
tight
elite
end.
quarterback. And a great
Oh,
tight
great tight end.
Tight end.
Goddard
Great
is
tight end.
great.
A top 10 tight end. And a great O-line.
five.
So it's like, how could you forget all these other players and just focus on Saquon? Like, I get the reasoning, but you still got A.J. Brown and
I mean-
Devontae Smith on them shit.
I could live with Jalen Hurts beating me, even though he's elite. Don't get me wrong, he's a great quarterback. I can live with Jalen Hurts beating me than watching someone run down the sideline for 50 yards per play. I would rather that happen, someone beat me through the air, than just running their fucking brains out and beating us by that. I would much rather have that happen.
I'm not gonna lie
And hey,
though.
Jalen Hurts did have a turnover.
But
As-
still,
As much
you know,
shit as
you
I
still
give.
get beat.
Oh, sorry. As much shit as I give Jalen Hurts, he showed up when it mattered. I mean, I didn't watch,
He's a
but
Yo, then me and
played
Stephanie
a
try to
great-
tell y'all dudes in the group chat that
No,
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
I never
Didn't we
said
try
he
to
was
tell
bad
y'all?
now. I never said he was
Look.
bad. I just said he's a
Jalen
product
Hurts
of
my
his
favorite
situation.
quarterback. It's just beside that, he's my favorite quarterback. But he's
He's a
on the
product of
fucking
his
Eagles.
situation.
It's just destined for me to hate that kid some way. But yeah, he's always been a good quarterback to me. I swear to
It's
God.
just like I feel like he proved he's not a product of his situation because when the Ninjas were
Well-
shutting down Saquon, he did what he had to do.
But you also gotta think about this, bro. They also had great field position, like three drives.
Yeah,
in
the
a row, bro.
defense. Yeah, the
Like
defense
they
really
had
helped them
one
out too.
defensive touchdown. And they had others where they had a pick six, well, not a pick six, but a pick in the inside the 10, bro. So 2 plays where they got scored or got put inside the red zone. That adds up,
Yeah.
bro. Then all the 3 and outs where they flipped the field. It was a short field for the Chiefs to kick it. Eagles got pride to midfield automatically, so those getting 3 regardless. You know what I'm saying? So how much can we put on Jalen Hurts knowing he played an outstanding game? You know what I'm saying? He played a great game. Beside that one turnover, but how much can we put on that than the defense? You feel me?
did you all see?
And
But you also got to give him his credit, man. That boy did his thing.
I
On the
did.
biggest
I
stage
think
in the
he
world.
played an outstanding game. I say he played one.
Yeah, but
Jalen
I'm
Hurts is
saying,
a
like-
winner, bro. He's a winner.
You
I'm
can't
just
really
saying,
deny
like,
it
you
at
know,
this
like,
point.
defense was a
Oh,
product, but he still played his game. Like when Hurts,
Yeah.
when Saquon was getting shut down, he did what he had to do.
When he had
So-
to step up, he definitely did it. I mean, that's
Well,
something.
you think he's a product?
Yeah, that's something you.
Wait, what?
What were you
Well,
saying?
I thought I heard Justin say he's a product. He's a
I
He
product.
said-
said,
I
he
was-
said
I said
people
I thought.
said he was a product.
Oh,
He said
yeah.
he was a product
Bro,
of all. But now
exactly,
he's
bro.
proving he
You
is.
know what's crazy? This is like his either third or fourth offensive coordinator that he had to deal with, and
Fourth
he's been
for
balling.
years.
Yeah.
And he balls with either one.
Yes.
So do you still hate
He's like the
Kellen Moore?
reverse Baker Mayfield.
Hang on, wait. I gotta hear.
Bro,
I mean,
yeah, that's what I was
Kellen
gonna
Moore-
talk about.
I gotta hear it from Miles. Is Kellen
Alright.
Moore still a bad offensive coordinator then?
All right, so he improved. I'm not gonna lie. Like time to time, like yeah, he had some troubles in Dallas that I questioned about, but he really like showed and like proved that he can be good at times. Like he caught a good game against in my opinion the best defensive coordinator in the NFL, and it's just like yeah, he has the talent, yada yada yada, but he's made Jalen Hurts more comfortable than he was last year under Brian Johnson. He used actually when he was known for not running the ball as much as he did in Dallas, he actually used the run game with Saquon Barkley and had him have a breakout year. And I can't hate on that. I'm not gonna lie, I can't hate on that.
Well, he
I got a
just
question, Miles.
just went
Are
to
you
the
saying
Saints.
Spagnuolo? You're saying Spagnuolo's better than Vic Fangio to you?
Overall, yeah.
You just-
I mean,
For real?
Overall, yeah.
overall, yeah, I'd say so. I mean,
He definitely improved, like Miles said. this year, he improved.
Spagnuolo has the downside though of not having the top tier players that Vic Fangio
Bro,
has.
Cam, you know the defenses he made at New York?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but like Vic Fangio been consistent for 30 years.
But
Yeah.
he has been too though.
Yeah, so is I mean they're both.
No,
I'd say
I
they're
got them neck and neck at worst.
yeah, I'd say they're probably about the same to be honest. I mean they're both really top tier defensive coordinators, but I don't think either one is really better than the other. I mean they've done great. Both of them have done great.
Yeah, when it comes to designs, Spagnuolo
But I
gives better
feel like-
designs.
I
when it
feel
comes to
like-
discipline.
I feel like with the personnel that Steve has had, he's done better than Vic Fangio because Steve he been losing pieces to his defense time to time, and he still like created more and more defenses. This is the only year where Vic Fangio made like a top 3 defenses. But I mean, look at his personnel. Like, look at his corner depth, his safety depth, his D line depth, and things like
Well,
that.
look, end of the year, it was always questions about that whole Eagles defense. Before, like last year, this is the same damn team besides 2 players, or 3 players, Braun. Bro, no one thought Zach Brown was going to be an all-pro. No one thought 2 rookies would look like fucking 5-year vets. We always had questions about Jordan Davis being a consistent player. We all had questions about Milton Williams being a consistent player. Their edges were always iffy, besides Jalen Carter. So we're not going to act like their defense was just set in stone going to be good.
Isn't
Some
Jalen
of the
Carter
pieces-
DT?
No, he's
he's like a
an-
hybrid. He plays defensive
Oh,
tackle
hybrid.
and defensive end.
like an Aaron Donald kind
Yeah. I don't think
To be
anybody.
honest,
Like,
I don't think anybody expected Josh Sweat to break out this year either. I don't think
Oh, that's
anybody
what I'm
expected
saying,
him.
like,
to.
Josh Sweat always been good, though.
can't say that
Fangio is on the same tier as Brian Flores.
Who?
If you
Brian
ask
Flores
me,
is Brian Flores is a maniac.
Yeah.
He's a maniac, bro.
He didn't get a head coaching offer this cycle, and I mean I don't really get why. I mean I know he's got
That
that.
Vikings defense was insane.
He's
Like,
got his
sheesh.
lawsuit against the NFL. That's probably why. I mean, let's be honest. If he wasn't currently suing the NFL for discrimination or whatever he's suing them for, then he'd be a head coach. I mean, he had a great tenure in Miami, but I don't know. I only woke up for the halftime show.
That's a great team.
bro,
Vikings.
the Chiefs offense is so terrible. It's not even funny. Like,
Yeah.
bro, Mahomes didn't look comfortable at all. Like the receivers were creating no separation. like the O line wasn't blocking right the fuck, and like it just like, dude, what the fuck was going on with their offense?
They got out of their element. They were never. I didn't think they were ever really good. I said in the beginning of the year, bro, they're overrated, but nobody
Yeah,
believed.
for sure.
And look at them. They
Did
got to
you?
the Super Bowl. They played a great team.
I mean, I wouldn't say overrated. I ain't gonna lie.
They did.
I
As soon as they
mean-
ran into a good team, they got stopped.
Yeah,
I mean-
overrated. They didn't even deserve to be
They
here.
good teams all season though.
Who was good that
But
they
you
beat?
but you
Ravens?
they played the Ravens. The Ravens lost off of like a
One
last
little-
minute mistake.
Exactly. But they
But they beat
Yeah,
them.
but
I'll
the
give you that. They beat
They
them.
was in contention with the Raiders. They was in contention
Yeah.
with the Raiders for like both
That's
games. this year,
That's
bro.
divisional
They
game
beat
though.
the
All,
It's the
Steelers.
fucking Raiders. They were 8-0 swinging the rock.
all divisional games are like that though.
Yeah.
I don't give it.
All
I don't give a damn
divi-
what
I
it
will
is.
give it-
8-0 if I see Aiden O'Connell on the opposite side of my football field, I'm licking my damn chops. No ways that kid is gonna have a close game with me. And I'm Patrick
For
fucking
real.
Mahomes.
But are we
And
just
Dak
ignoring?
Prescott lost to fucking Sam Howell.
Are we just ignoring the fact that they beat the Bills in the championship round though?
That's what I'm saying.
You said what? You said what?
I mean,
Oh,
okay, listen.
no.
Granted, it was the first time all season that they scored over 30, but still, you can't take that away from them. You can't say, "Oh, well, they didn't play anybody." No, they played the Bills. They played a good Houston team, even though they were injured. But they beat the Bills to get to the Super Bowl. They just ran into a juggernaut with the Eagles. The Eagles built their team with the sole purpose in mind that they had to beat the Chiefs. If they could just be better than the Chiefs. That's what they did.
Yeah.
That's why they made it to the Super Bowl. That's why they won the Super Bowl, because they built their team with the idea of beating one team, not
I think
32.
every other NFC team also was injured. Like the Niners, they literally probably could have been better if they didn't have so many injuries. Lions kind of suffered later in the end. Vikings, that was just an explosion. We don't even know what happened there.
Sam
Us,
Darnold.
we never were in contention, but like,
yeah,
damn,
we're never in contention.
we were
bro.
never in contention. But a lot of NFC teams were just not really that great this year. Besides Commanders and Lions just collapsed. I still am shocked about watching beating them the Pope. Like that's still insane to
I'm
me.
watching.
I like-
I'm shocked at the Vikings, bro. The
And I-
Vikings had no
Yeah. No,
I'm
business
not.
losing that game.
I'm not.
And I feel
Sam
like
Darnold's your quarterback. I don't
well,
give a fuck.
going back to the Chiefs, I feel like they got too confident in themselves and think, oh yeah, we finna 3-pick, oh yeah, we finna make history.
They
believe
They
the
started
hype.
get.
They
They started
believe the
looking past the Eagles. It
Yeah.
seemed like.
They believe the hype,
Yeah,
and
they
they
believed
focused
that.
on Saquon.
Well, and you saw fucking fucking DeAndre Hopkins saying, talking about the refs. It's like, dude,
So, what?
Like, bro,
Come on,
shut
man.
up, bro.
There were barely any calls barely any flags,
Well,
really, too.
it's the
And it
exact
was
same
fair.
thing that I said about the Bills game. If you have to blame the refs, you didn't play good. You didn't play a good game. I'm sorry. You can't blame the refs for losing the game. You were down 40-6. The refs didn't let you go down 40-6. The refs didn't
Right.
cause Patrick Mahomes to throw 2 interceptions. It's the same exact argument that I gave for the
And go
Bills.
3 and out.
Exactly.
And go 3 and out.
The refs didn't
For
lose you the
real.
game. I'm sorry, and I hate when players say when players come out and start talking about that, and you see people in the fan bases say, "Well, why aren't the players talking about this?" Because of this exact reason. You're saying it at the dumbest possible time. I love DeAndre Hopkins. He's a great person. He's an amazing football player. He'll probably be in the Hall of Fame one day, but
Hell no.
he is not.
Hell no,
Yeah,
boy.
Miles Jesse will. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
Not
he's
first,
not.
no, not
He's
first
not
ballot.
making the Hall
Not
of
first
Fame.
ballot.
Not. Yeah,
Nigga,
I'm
what?
not saying first.
Not first
ballot.
ballot.
I feel like
Not
those
first
Texan
ballot.
years will get him in, but like
No.
these last years,
No.
Bro.
It's getting harder
I
and
think-
harder every year to make it to the Hall of Fame.
Well, to Miles' point, if
Uh,
Luke Kuechly didn't get in first
Yeah,
ballot,
that is true.
Luke
Yeah,
And
that
Eli
is true.
Manning.
That is true.
No,
Well,
Eli
Eli-
Manning really wasn't
Eli was
like
never
a
first
first
ballot.
ballot,
I'm sorry.
but he
he only
had
has
he had an
Pro Bowls,
opportunity.
no All Pros.
Damien
Sorry.
says hello, by the way.
What's up?
Fuck Damien.
Hey.
Don't play. Hi, Damien.
So, man, I hate when players do that, and it could be on the winning or the losing side. They start talking about the refs. It's like, dude, you were
And
down 40-6.
Kelsey proved he got to let
Well, I
it go.
got
Man.
a
He got to retire,
question.
man.
You said that point. you can't blame the refs. What about that Saints and Rams game where bro
That
just
was
got
okay.
hit stick to
That was
oblivion?
That was
completely
way
different.
different.
That was completely different because that was absolutely
That
egregious,
altered the
and
game.
that right. But even still, the Saints still went on to overtime, and they still lost. So they had their destiny in their hands. They controlled their destiny to that point. But yes, that was horrible. That was absolutely the refs' fault. They should not have lost that game, and the refs did cost them that. But let's not act like the Saints didn't have a chance to win the game afterwards. They went to overtime. They didn't do anything. They lost. They lost because they didn't move the ball in overtime. That wasn't the refs. Now, they shouldn't have gotten to overtime. That was completely different. But we're talking about a big difference between a very unbelievably obvious pass interference call versus missing false starts, weak holding calls, stuff like that. Like,
I didn't see a lot of mistakes from the Eagles.
I didn't
so I don't
either.
know what he was talking
I didn't see a whole lot of issues.
Nick Sirianni is a good coach. All right, I don't want.
Yeah, I hate
You know what?
It pains me to say it, but he's a good coach.
I don't think necessarily that Sirianni is the best head coach, but he is one of those head coaches that, like, he gets the job done. Like, he's somebody you
he's
don't
a winner,
fire.
bro.
You
can't count him out.
He's somebody
And
you
another
just don't
thing-
fire.
Another thing, Kelsey proved that he needs to hang it up, man. That man was horrible.
Yeah.
Like, he couldn't do the same things he always do.
I mean,
But
he's,
it's not
Chiefs
like
might get Harold Fanning.
Coach Steph in a group chat like, yeah, Kelsey is not what he was. There were like 5 tight ends, in my opinion, that were better this year. And we're being honest.
He wasn't a top tight end. He
Look,
was not
Yeah,
a top 10
Kittle,
tight end this year.
Laporta.
when I was doing
Bauer,
There's so many
Bowers.
tight ends better
Bowers
than
is
him
gonna
right
be
now.
great.
My nigga Ferguson better. He
McBride?
didn't even play that much.
McBride.
Hey, bro,
McBride, yeah, him.
if the
He
Chiefs
was not a
don't
top 10
draft,
tight end this year.
if the Chiefs don't
I think
draft
they're
a
getting
tight
Harold
end,
Fanning, bro.
if the
They get
Chiefs
Harold
don't draft a
Fanning, bro.
tight end, they need to go out and get Michael Mayer from the Raiders. Find a way to get
Bro,
him.
I don't think
Michael
the Raiders
Mayer
want
is.
somebody like Mayer. I don't think.
I said, bro, the Raiders could really put Bowers in the slot and use Michael Myers as a tight
I don't
end
know-
for it.
Wait, a slot receiver for Brock Bowers?
That's
Yeah, he runs a
it's-
4-4.
Yeah,
4-5.
it's not unbelievable.
He's a big body wide receiver, bro.
He's kind of like
he's only 6'3".
he's kind of like
he's only
Jack
6'3",
Besh from TCU. He's like he is a tight end, but he's got the speed of a fucking wide receiver. I don't know anything. So all right, look, y'all are gonna hate me for this. I didn't really care that much for the halftime show.
Oh, I ain't gonna lie, that's
No,
'cause it was a whole message behind it. That's why
didn't-
Yeah.
I didn't really care for. Look, I'm a sucker for all the theatrics and shit, and Kendrick Lamar is like an amazing performer. I just didn't really like it, to be honest, and it's probably because I don't really listen to
Why?
Kendrick. It's not for the reason I just don't listen to Kendrick a whole lot, and I've never seen him.
I get it.
Actually,
I get it,
perform.
bro. I get it, because that's like Morgan Wallen doing a halftime show, and like we're saying like we don't like it because like we don't listen. Well, I listen to Morgan Wallen, but most black people they don't listen to him. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Plus-
don't really listen to him.
You gotta understand how Kendrick performs. You know what I'm saying? That's how he usually
He's a
actually
conscious
performs. in real
rapper.
life. He's your first. Like, just imagine Tyler the Creator doing a fucking.
Oh my god!
Super Bowl.
Oh my god!
Nobody's
They're
gonna-
They're never letting
If you
him
never
do
watched
that.
Tyler the Creator perform, you're not gonna like his performance. So it all
Right.
comes down to who's really a fan.
I've
for
seen
real.
some of his performances, and he is insane when he performs. Like he's all over the fucking place.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's
But-
beautiful.
At the end of
I'll give Kendrick this though. Before you say something, I'll give Kendrick. It was a good build up. He got the crowd into it. I just didn't like how he was like teasing the fact that he was gonna do Not Like Us the entire show.
yeah, that tired.
But that
Yeah.
was those their theatrics.
It's like,
Yeah,
come on, man.
facts.
Well,
But-
we all knew before the
Hey,
halftime
quiet.
show.
Let's get it.
We all knew he was gonna do
every
it.
time he teased it, he had a message. He had
Yeah.
a message about like every time he teased it, like 40 acres is a mule and a mule. This is way more than a music.
I'm
that's
surprised.
really why he was trying to spread a message so people would like listen.
I'm
And plus,
surprised that
All that whole shit.
the NFL let him do it though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
But I'm not
so,
because that's all they wanted. They knew that was gonna bring them a lot of money, bro.
Oh yeah.
That was the most
yeah.
viewed Super Bowl ever. So they knew people wanted to see Drake get called a pedophile. Wait, can I say that word?
Yeah, you can say it. says
they want-
says the
Not really.
word.
Drake's
Hey,
been
wait,
on
can I
live
say that
TV.
word?
No, like, I'd be thinking this
You're
Twitch,
good, I'm
rules,
fucking
but
with you.
they call Drake a PDF on national television. That's gonna bring in a whole lot of numbers. So they said, no way, you perform that song no matter what. I don't give a damn what happens. Cause that you saw, they probably made over $1 billion at the whole Super Bowl, bro.
I
Not gonna lie.
kind of expected they were gonna bring in Lil
Oh.
Wayne as a guest, but they didn't do it, and I was kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to see Lil Wayne.
What song will Lil Wayne perform?
I don't
though?
fucking know.
Mona Lisa?
Maybe.
I admit. No, I'm playing. But Lil Wayne's
Alright.
not even that good of a performer.
He
though.
not, bro. If we're
He's
being honest, he's not.
Justin's been trying to talk this
I don't want
entire
to sound
time.
like a pinky, but can y'all shut up? My God, I'm trying to get in.
He's
Shut
not,
up.
though.
I'm trying to get to say nothing. Like y'all niggas keep
Then talk.
interrupting. I'm trying.
Be a big dog, talk.
Keep going.
Hey,
Go ahead.
shut your ass. All right, okay. When it comes up to Kendrick, man, he's always gonna put up a performance. He's a conscious rapper. He's not just gonna come up and like we of course thought he was gonna like do what every Super Bowl performer does, go from their greatest hits and like perform them and do all that. But nah, man, he was stuck in his GNX bag, and plus he wanted to get a message out there. Like, shit, Trump was there. He was like, might as well, you know, like I'm gonna break it down a little bit, a little history lesson. Why Samuel L. Jackson was there? It's because he was supposed to be Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam,
Pretty much-
nigga, duh.
Pretty much when he was saying when Kendrick was playing all his rowdy shit, Samuel L. Jackson was like, too loud, too loud. That's not how it's supposed to
Ghetto.
be done. Chill out. Because that's how black people are portrayed in America. We're all loud and stuff. We chill out. So Kendrick played all the stars. They played Luther and all that. And then Samuel L. Jackson was like, yeah, just right. That's good. Because that's how white people or like America wants us to be acting. So it was a lot of, stuff. And like the PlayStation controller, he was talking about, how America is a game for black Americans. We got to play it the right way or we'll die or some shit like that. It's just,
Hey, Justin, I don't know if you caught this, but look, they came out the car and stuff. You know how all those different colors went to like their own section. They was separated at one point.
yeah.
It's so, like it's an American flag. It was showing how separate America really is in a whole
Yes.
different way.
And the thing with the
That-
American flag also, because
Yeah.
like I caught something like
Facts.
saying like black people like built this country, so it might as well like make slaves. I don't want to turn this into a whole, history lesson, but I'm just saying that's how Kendrick is going to do his performances. And it's not for everybody, but if you
Y'all
want
saw
to
the lowercase A chain.
I
Oh
don't.
yeah, that was great.
Lowercase A chain.
And then when he did the Drake, when he looked at the camera, I was like, oh damn.
I
No,
don't
that's
think I'm
easy.
necessarily
That was
his
easy.
targeted demographic. I'm not gonna lie.
And you
Oh,
don't
no,
have to.
So let's.
You don't gotta be.
So in just
Ain't nothing wrong with
just
that.
a conclusion, we're now living in America with the Eagles as the Super Bowl champions for the second time
It is what it
in
is.
10 years. So it is what it is. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles for winning the Super Bowl. Even though we're Cowboys fans, it's still
I
football.
could
we
really
still
care
love
less,
football.
to be honest. to be
Right.
Jalen
honest.
I
Hurts
could
really
really
got a
care
Super Bowl
less.
before that, But it
Congratulations.
is what it is.
They still gotta catch up to us, fuck nigga.
We are gonna
3 more.
we are
Three
gonna
more.
pivot to another Super Bowl conversation, but it's not the Eagles. It is the Dallas Cowboys. When Dak Prescott was asked in an interview at the Super Bowl on his opinion on the Eagles winning the Super Bowl and if Dallas's Super Bowl window was open, Dak Prescott said, and I quote, "I feel like we've competed with the Eagles and beat them for the most part when we played them. Credit to them, it's our turn and it's on us now." And he went on to say that he felt like the Dallas Cowboys are closer to the Eagles Super Bowl team than people believe. Guys, what do you guys think about Dak Prescott's comments?
Let's go, K. Yeah.
I'm a
Okay.
All right,
you go.
motherfucker. What do you want the motherfucker to say? Oh no, we're ass. We're fucking ass. We're not gonna go nowhere near the damn Super Bowl. What do you want the kid to say? He got asked a question, got put on the spot. You know what I'm saying? I think we're a long way. Knowing the talent of our team shows that we're not that long of a way from competing for a Super Bowl. I'm not saying we're gonna get there by any means, because shit's not happening. But what do you want, bro, to say? Like, you was in that position. You just gonna be like, no, I don't think we're gonna go to the Super Bowl, bro. Like,
Yeah.
Miles, you play
I
football.
wouldn't say
I
that.
You
mean,
think-
I wouldn't say that.
You-
I wouldn't say that, but I would have said, let me go real quick. I wouldn't have said that, but I would have said, okay, like, it's the off season right now. We're trying to take one step at a time. We got a new head coach. We don't know what's going to happen. Like, congratulations to the
But
Eagles.
that's such a cop out
That-
answer.
That's showing.
How-
But
how-
look,
you
Justin,
just said-
Justin,
why would
you play
just say
football,
you're close
right?
To the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
No, I never played.
Look, if someone
Never
asks
played it.
if y'all think y'all gonna go to the state championship, what you gonna say?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's the same thing for him.
No, I wouldn't say that.
No, man.
But I would take it more to a humble approach. I'd be like,
Exactly.
I'm like, man. First of all, we gotta take it to the we gotta focus on like going to the next step. And so we can't just automatically think, oh yeah, we're gonna be state champions. First, we gotta make it to the playoffs first. We gotta handle business first.
Exactly. Don't just say we're close to the Super Bowl. Like, what the fuck?
But everybody,
After
Fuck being humble. I'm rich.
everybody, everybody
Fuck
shits
you,
on
humble,
Dak
nigga.
for being humble all the time, and he's kind of like a lose-lose situation because the one time he's not utterly humble in any of the responses he gives or deflective, he gets shit on for it. So it's kind of like a lose-lose situation for
He
him.
does when he's too confident.
It's lose if you win, lose if you don't, really,
Yeah.
for him. But, like, still, I would just say no comment. But then in the end, he probably get flack for that, too. I don't
Yeah.
know. I just don't think he
Yeah.
should have
I
said
like
all that.
I like the confidence. I don't think it's delusion. Everybody's saying that he's delusional. I don't think it's
You
delusion.
think
No,
we're close to
no.
the
Okay, hang on.
Eagles?
Wait.
He is
Hang on.
We are not close
I'm
to the
not
Eagles at
saying
all.
I'm not
sorry.
saying that. I'm saying I don't think it's delusion. I don't think it's that he genuinely believes that. What the fuck else is he gonna say? It's like what Cade
Bro,
said. What is he gonna
He
say?
said last year, he said that the 2024 Dallas Cowboys will be Super Bowl fucking champions.
Well, I get
If
that.
you
too.
ask any other
Everybody
team-
get that.
Put on the spot.
If
It's
you
just get put on the spot 'cause he's a
They
Cowboy.
asked him that
I
question.
kinda get
Hold
it.
on. If you're getting asked that question, you're gonna be like, I think we're gonna be playoff first round exits. You want him to say that? If he's getting
He
asked,
can at least say,
hold on.
"Oh, it'll be the
The
best team in
bitch
the
asked
NFC."
him- no. The bitch asked
No,
him
you
what
get
the
flack for that
for the
too.
Cowboys are gonna be. Hold on. The bitch asked him. Oh, no, I don't mean bitch, but I'm not saying that. I mean, but the woman asked the nigga, the 2024 Cowboys are gonna be what? So you want to say, oh, first round exits, bro? No, not even that. A top 15 draft pick selection. You want him to say that? Huh?
If
What do you
if
want
you
the nigga to
You
say?
keep missing the point,
Yeah,
though. Like, he's not going to say
There's
we're
no
gonna be
fucking
bad.
point.
There is a point.
O'Connell, and he asked Aiden O'Connell, "Oh, the Las Vegas Raiders will be," and he said the fucking Super Bowl championships. I mean, Super Bowl champions. You want to say shit about that?
yeah, he got you there,
Exactly.
Cade.
No,
He does
what-
got you there.
Damn.
No. I would. Listen. I would most definitely say something. What the fuck? But if you think about it, if you was in that situation, hold on. If you was in that situation, you gotta ask that question. Do you want to put down your whole team as a quarterback? You're the quarterback of a team. You're gonna be like, you know what? I think we're gonna be a high draft pick type of year. You want him to say that?
You're not going to say that.
What? So what do you say?
We're not going to say the bad things.
I want him to say we're gonna be a very damn good team. At least that.
Exactly. I'm not like, hey, you're trying to say it like we're trying to say, oh, we're going to be bad. We're going to get a number
No,
one draft
you
pick.
gotta ask
No,
how the woman was fishing for that answer.
then why did he take the bait?
Because look, if he said a damn good team, hold on. If he said a damn good team, she gonna be like, which is meaning what?
Yeah.
Right or wrong? She's a reporter, which is meaning what?
Man,
Yeah, he's
and
media trained.
nobody-
He's been in the league for almost 10 years. He should know better. I'm sorry.
Nobody's
That's all I'm
asking. Nobody's asking Aiden O'Connell what he thinks their team's going to get to. And if he says he's not stupid. But Dallas is in a little bit of a different situation that they have the pieces on their team right now that they can contend for a Super Bowl. They can get there. Now, can they win one? No. Can they even get to one? I don't know. But they have the pieces on paper to get there. That's the big difference. You can't compare the Cowboys and the Raiders. It's not a fair comparison.
All right.
But also the whole thing
Packers.
about
The Packers.
The Packers would
They asked Jordan Love that.
they'd say the same thing.
He's gonna. I guarantee.
but
I
Dak
guarantee he's
gets
gonna say the same
crucified
shit.
even more because he's the Cowboy. I mean, he's the Cowboys QB, and that sucks.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you just got to find some way to finesse it. But I also see your way, like, he's not just going to say, oh, okay, this is like rebuilding
We're
type
not
year
gonna
and all that other
win,
stuff.
you know.
We're
We're
gonna
we're
win.
gonna
He's not
miss
Yeah,
the
Josh Allen
playoffs.
You know how many times I asked Josh Allen that same question, bro, and he said this damn near the same thing, but it doesn't get televised because he's fucking Josh Allen and we're fucking Dak Prescott on the Dallas Cowboys.
No, it doesn't get televised because Josh Allen doesn't always lose in the first round of damn playoffs.
Well, he went to the second and third. He's still going home regardless.
It's kind of like
still going to the same place we going.
It's kind of like when
freaking people making QB wins of playoffs. I mean, playoff wins of QB stat. I'm so sick of that shit.
Wins are not QB stat in general, bro.
That's
Because Joe Flacco is it's no we're going to sit here and say Joe Flacco's better than Mike Vick. Or we're just not going to say
But
that.
it's only 1 year though.
No. I was going off what Justin said because he's talking about wins or not a quarterback stack. I'm just saying no one in the world should be able to say that Joe Flacco's better than Mike Vick just because he got a Super Bowl. No one in the world should fucking say. Noah, do not give me that look. Noah, do not give me that.
But I feel like wins are a big part for a quarterback.
I mean, I get that though.
Yeah.
But if you look at a lot of the games that Dak has played in the playoffs, he's been a big factor for why they've lost. So I'll give Miles that.
But he's also been a big factor on why we've won. I've also saw the stats he's put up. It's not been bad, but the only playoff games I could say he fucked up: San Francisco, Green Bay. But his rookie year, he was able to get us back in a position to beat Green Bay, but the defense sold him. All these other chances, his defense has sold him. I'm not gonna say.
I have a question.
Oh wow! What?
No. Justin, you're saying the most perfect shit ever, bro. But why is Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson not being in the same conversations as Dak?
That is true.
Because damn. But still,
they've also won MVPs.
They won MVPs, yeah.
They won MVP.
No. Should Dak have won MVP before though? Last 2023 season.
He won MVP last year. No, he shouldn't have.
He was second.
He had the guys
and I was feeling that shit.
He was second in MVP. It was. I will say it was a very weak MVP class last year. I will say that.
Tell me why Dak Prescott should have won over Lamar Jackson right now, and I'll
better stats,
numbers.
Oh my god,
numbers say he played better.
It's a regular season
Every
award.
statistic said he played better, bro.
So
it's a regular season award. It's not no playoff award.
MVP.
But it's a stat award.
But MVP isn't a stat award though.
It's not a stat award,
He
bro.
was more valuable than any other player on our team last year.
Not
Who
really.
was getting that?
Not really. Because I mean, you look at what. Okay, look. When the Ravens lost Lamar Jackson a few years ago, they were still very good. They had Tyler Huntley as their quarterback, but you could see the drop off with Cooper Rush.
He made a Pro Bowl.
In the
he made a Pro Bowl.
With
made a Pro Bowl.
With Cooper Rush in the in the starting lineup, the Cowboys' offense didn't change much. I see where Miles is coming from, that Dak Prescott is not the most valuable player in the league. He's just not. There's not a downside to that, but he's a quarterback that you have to build around. If you don't do that, then he won't win.
Bro, one thing I'll give Dak Prescott for his All Pro year, I ain't gonna lie, he did put up good numbers with having the number 2 wide receiver core drops. But if we look at Lamar Jackson and how valuable he was to the fucking Ravens, they were blowing out. I mean, they beat the most over 500 teams that year, and they were blowing out teams that the fucking Cowboys were struggling with. They blew out the Lions, they blew out the Seahawks, and they blew out the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Matchups. Who match us better though? That's the whole thing. Just because you got a better team on paper don't mean you match up with them. You know what I'm saying? That
But what you
doesn't
mean?
I just feel like that.
So look, let me cook real
Yeah,
quick.
do
Let
it.
me cook. I ain't gonna lie, just you go first. Let me regather my thoughts real quick. I ain't gonna lie.
The man.
I just wanted to yap. I thought I was gonna sound smart, bro.
The only downside I could get of that last year is that we really only beat 2 teams over 500, and besides, the Lions and that shit, you could pretty much put it to 1. So I get that, like, he wasn't really beating anybody for real, and he wasn't really the most valuable. But I just feel like if we're gonna go over stats and how this year's MVP, and everybody was saying, "Oh my gosh, Lamar Jackson put up all these MVP stats. He deserves it." But when he didn't put those MVP stats up last year, and he still won MVP, everybody was like, "Oh, stats don't matter."
Yeah.
So I don't get the bias, the double standard.
I get
I get you, bro. I get you. Like, but I told people I sent them that business either way it go. Like stats, like people mislead stats so fucking much. You can have good stats on paper, but in games you can look so different.
Yeah. But I mean, to be fair, they go hand in hand, because if not, if you just look at the most valuable player, then Mahomes would win every single year because he is the most valuable player to the Chiefs.
Player, yeah.
So
That's why I try to tell people with Joe Burrow. Yeah, Joe Burrow has some good ass numbers, but yeah, look at it. Most of his games were shootout games because him trying to
and he
keep up
lost.
with the teams. Yeah, keep up with the teams because the defense was so bad. But still, even though he had some good stats, he also had a bad record.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to the other guys.
You have to have a good win-loss record. You have to have decent stats, and you have to be actually measurable on the field. You have to be the most valuable player on the field. And if you can't meet all three of those criteria, then no, you're not going to win. That's why Josh Allen won it this year, because the Bills were good. He was the most valuable player on the team. He helped that team win when they had a below-average receiving core, and his stats were off the top, or off the chart. Excuse me. But with the Ravens, they had a better team on paper. They had a better team. It wasn't even on paper. They had a better team regardless. So that's why Lamar didn't win this year. It might be a little bit of voter fatigue too, and I can probably understand that. But I'm not mad. I wouldn't be mad about Josh Allen winning it, but you can't go on and say that, Dak Prescott didn't deserve it last year because of that issue. But
yeah, I wouldn't say he didn't deserve it, but like I'm saying, like people saying like, oh, Dak Prescott had better numbers than Lamar Jackson.
Not really,
like,
yeah.
We can't always go based off of stats.
No, definitely can't.
But let's ask this question: would he have won the MVP if he was on another team?
Probably not.
I still feel like it's biased.
No.
Yeah, if he was on 49ers
the
and they won 13 games and beat 500 teams, yes, he would have won that Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
No Cowboy has ever won MVP. That should tell you something.
Wait, what? Yes, he does.
Emmitt Smith.
Oh, Emmitt Smith won? Oh.
Yeah, but
he
he
won
didn't
one.
revoke your Cowboys.
1992.
Okay, 1-1. Bruh, shut up. Okay,
Oh, no, you watched that right. I thought you
Shut
remember
the
that.
fuck up. I knew it was coming. Motherfucker.
You should have said it exactly.
This is my last analyst on deck. I believe he could do it. We just need to get everything around him right. And yes, he needs to clean up some mistakes.
Yeah.
What?
I think he's just getting a little too old to make another run for MVP.
Too banged up.
Not MVP. I'm talking about winning a Super Bowl. Because that's the whole thing.
Wait, who?
Like, I'm tired. I'm talking about everybody and all this shit, like saying he's a bad quarterback when it comes to the playoffs, when they're just circumstances that happen. Yes, he hasn't.
Nobody that actually knows football thinks he's a bad quarterback, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I get what you're saying. Like, nobody, like, everybody knows he's top 10, top 15, whatever you want to say, quarterback in the league. Regardless, if you actually, like, know the game of football and not trying to troll and shit. That's what gets Dak into, like, people rely too much on internet opinion, bro. And they know the best way to get views is talking about Cowboys. And how can you talk about the Cowboys and get views? Sit on them. You know what I'm saying? It comes with the business. It just comes with it. So
you can't put Justin Herbert in the top 5 and say that Dak Prescott is a below average quarterback. I'm sorry. You just can't. If Justin Herbert is in the top 5 for a lot of people, which he shouldn't be, you can't then turn around. You can't then turn around and say that Dak Prescott is not top 10.
Yeah, I'll put my.
Exactly. He's still a top 10 quarterback.
He's not top 5.
No, Justin Herbert's nasty though. Don't get me wrong. He's fucking nasty.
But he ain't no top 5 guy.
No,
he proved that.
I mean, get him another receiver. Get him a true number.
He was before this. I mean, before that playoff loss though, he was.
Huh? I wouldn't say that,
was.
bro.
Man,
Like,
I wouldn't even say that.
he was a
He was.
Kind, yeah,
was-
he was
yeah.
cold. He was
I'll give
cold,
you that.
but-
Whatever. I'll give you that, Miles. Whatever.
I still
I'm
believe
not
that.
giving him that because
I'm
it's fucking
I-
Miles, and I refuse to agree with Miles, bro. What you talking about?
Bro, fuck you.
Okay,
At the end of the
so
day, I
love you,
still believe
Miles.
that's a top 10 quarterback and that he could get the job done. That's it.
we're gonna
You think Dak is a top 10? I love you.
we're gonna pivot onto the off-season plan. So I have actually created an off-season plan for the Dallas Cowboys. It is not a perfect off-season plan.
Ooh.
There is a big reason why I'm not a GM, and this is exactly why, and you're gonna find out.
Jerry will take it under advisory.
Yeah.
As he shits on it for his newspaper.
I kind of hope he doesn't. Okay. So at the moment, the Dallas Cowboys are negative in cap space. They're negative 5.1 mil in the cap in the cap, but they can easily get over that. My first move would be restructuring Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. That would free up
Yes, sir.
about $52.5 million, and would give you quite a bit of flexibility. That is also accounting for about $11 or so million that you'd have to keep for the draft. So in reality, you probably would end up freeing about 60 to 65 million. Now, the program that I used PFF's offseason manager. You cannot re-sign your players that are not free agents, which is the dumbest fucking thing ever. So I was unable to sign Micah Parsons. So I counteracted that by just making this offseason plan with the idea that the Dallas Cowboys were not going to re-sign Micah Parsons this year. So let's just put that into the realm of possibility that maybe Dallas lets him get to next year. So after restructuring Dak and CeeDee Lamb, I also went on to cut Terrence Steele and Malik Hooker. Terrence Steele had a below-average year this year. He's still a below-average starting tackle, but he's making way too much damn money for what he is. Malik Hooker also had a kind of a down year, found himself out of position in a lot of coverage, and just there's going to be better options out there. So after the starting moves, after restructurings and cuts, I was able to free up $60.9 million in cap space. That's without re-signing Micah Parsons. Guys, what do you think so far?
Good. You're cooking.
But I feel like the Malik Hook, I'm not too mad at Malik Hook. You're like, you get a down year, but I feel like if you're gonna cut anybody, cut Donovan fucking Wilson because he's actually atrocious.
Yeah.
So here's the downside with cutting Donovan Wilson. With Malik Hooker, you free up about $4 million. With Donovan Wilson, if you designate him as a post-June 1st cut, you save $3 million. If you don't designate him as a post-June 1st cut, you actually lose money. You lose $1.5 million. So
Is this because he's still on contract?
yes. Malik Hooker is still under contract as well, but Malik Hooker doesn't have as much guaranteed money as Donovan Wilson did.
Yeah.
So that was my thinking there. I also was going under the idea that Donovan Wilson is still a great run supporter. Donovan Wilson is not afraid to come into the box and play the run. He's also got good enough coverage ability. You can get away with Donovan Wilson as your starting safety. Malik Hooker, you can.
Hell no. No.
Just
Donovan Wilson is ass.
As a strong safety, you can because of his run
In
support.
coverage.
In coverage, he's not great, but you can
But as
get
a hybrid
away
safety.
with him being your starting safety.
But I fight Malik Hooker. I feel like with the new Mike Zimmer scheme and all that, I feel like that would really cost us down a year because before this year, he was actually a pretty good serviceable safety.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be opposed to bringing back Malik Hooker on a different deal, but on his amount that he's making now, it's just not doable. And
Is it?
the big reason why I chose between the two, why I chose Malik Hooker over Donovan Wilson was for the money, for money issues, not because of their play. So
And I agree with the Micah Parsons one because we don't have to sign him right away. People just saying that because he's
Well,
getting close.
it's not that.
You don't want the price to get bigger.
Yeah, you don't
know
want
what
the
I'm
price
saying?
to get
Oh,
bigger.
yeah, the
I
market.
didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
sign him because I physically could not. It would not let me. Now, if you re-sign Micah Parsons, you free up another 20 or so million. So you definitely want to try and do it. So I could see Dallas definitely signing Micah Parsons. I could see him not signing him because they suck.
I hope so.
So
Not-
after
Yeah, what
not
Jay
signing
Johnson
him,
said,
that's
deadline make deals. Yeah, we're waiting to that deadline, buddy.
after the initial restructures and cuts, open the re-signing period for our own players.
Oh, bless me.
I didn't know if that was a sneeze or not. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's just how I sneeze, man.
Bless you then. So notable players I let walk. Zach Martin. I could not sign him to anything more than a 10-year deal. He's probably going to retire, if I had to guess.
A 10-year deal. You mean
10,
10 million?
10 million is what I meant. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I let Zach Martin walk. He's technically not retired yet, so yes, he would become a free agent. But he wouldn't take a cheaper deal. I also let Osa Odigizua walk.
No way, bro. No way.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out.
He's improved so much.
Just hear me out.
Shut up, Nolan.
Just
Shut
hear
up.
me
He's a
out.
top 10 D tackle.
Hear me out. The reason why I let Odigizua walk, one is because the mock offseason manager was absolutely stupid. I'm going to try and find a better one. But it was so stupid that it wouldn't let me actually sign him. Everything I was throwing his way, I tried a stupid contract. Like, I think I tried like a 5-year, $100 million contract, and he turned it down.
Oh, hell no.
So
Goddamn.
I don't know what the issue was and why. I don't know if it was because the guaranteed money wasn't right or whatever, but I could not physically sign it. But I also have a reasoning for why I would let him walk. I do not feel that Osa Odigizua is worth top 10 Christian Wilkins or Chris Jones money. The reason being, he can be replaced, and you'll see a little bit later when I get into the offseason. So I did let Osa Odigizua walk. I re-signed Carl Lawson to a 2-year, $6 million deal, so $3 million a year deal. Basically just the vet minimum. I re-signed Chauncey Golston to a 3-year, $12 million deal.
I like that.
No.
I also
What?
re-signed...
Chelsea played great this year.
Just hear me out, Miles. I also re-signed DeMarcus Lawrence to a 1-year, $10 million deal. Basically the vet minimum.
No.
Basically the vet
Yes.
minimum. I re-signed Eric Kendricks to a 1-year, $6 million deal as a
Good. Makes
kind
sense.
of a stopgap option for DeMarvion Overshown.
I miss you, Debo.
I re-signed Jordan Lewis. This is not realistic, by the way. This one is definitely not
Yeah, he's
realistic.
leaving.
I re-signed Jordan Lewis to a 3-year, $12 million deal with 40% of his contract guaranteed. I have no idea how it actually got accepted, and it's going to be a lot more than that. I re-signed Wanye
$30 million?
Thomas. I re-signed Wanye Thomas to a 2-year, $4 million deal since I let Malik Hooker go. And I re-signed Brock Hoffman to a 1-year, $6 million deal. I did everything. I re-signed Brock Hoffman for mainly insurance if Cooper Beebe gets hurt, or he can play right guard if my draft didn't turn out. The reason why I re-signed Chauncey Golston and DeMarcus Lawrence is because I still feel that this team needs defensive end help. And DeMarcus Lawrence is a leader. He's a leader on the defensive line. Now, I will admit I probably gave him too much money. I will admit that.
I mean, yeah, but
Yeah.
you gotta think
He's
about
regressing.
it. We got Marshawn. What's it call it? Nealon,
Marshawn Nealon.
and we got Sam Williams, two
So
young guys are up and coming. And if not saying it's gonna happen, but if the Myles Garrett trade does happen, we'll be straight, bro.
But it's
So-
not. Who are we going to get from him?
I re-signed Chauncey
I mean, not get
Golston
from him, trade for him.
and DeMarcus Lawrence because of their run help mainly. and their experience in pass rushing. The reasoning I had behind signing them despite having Marshawn Nealon and Sam Williams. One, Marshawn Nealon is still very raw as a pass rusher. You don't really know what he's going to be as a pass rusher yet. He's a great run support guy, and he has the potential to be a great defensive end. But I don't really like the question mark there. And I wasn't going to bank on getting a top-tier edge in the draft. So I went ahead and re-signed those guys. The good thing is Chauncey Golston's contract is very little guaranteed money, so you could move on from him next year. And DeMarcus Lawrence is a one-year deal. Let him retire as a Cowboy, whatever. He had a great career with us. Sure, whatever. So we move on to the free agency signings. Now, before I say this, I want to preface how absolutely stupid this offseason manager was. I could not actually sign any of these free agents because they would not accept any deal I threw at them. I don't know why. I even tried to sign some lower name guys that would for sure get a 1-year league minimum contract, and they wouldn't sign.
Yeah,
So-
even the internet players don't want to play with the Cowboys.
So they wouldn't sign. So my dream was signing Darius Slayton as a wide receiver 2 solid option. He could be a wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3, depending on what you do in the draft. I signed him for a 4-year, $32 million contract, about 40% guaranteed. That's probably a bargain, to be honest. He's probably going to get a lot more than that. I could see him getting about $60 or $70 million. But that was what I think he would be worth. I also got some defensive tackle insurance with letting Oso Odighizuwa walk. I signed B.J. Hill, 2-year, $8 million. That was the only free agency move for some reason that I was able to actually resign.
What about Turpin?
I did not resign Kevontae Turpin. He would not resign. Kevontae Turpin ended up going to the Kansas City Chiefs for like $20 million. It was
If
insane.
that happens in real life, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Rico Dowdle also left. I did not retain Rico Dowdle, and you'll know why soon. But what do you
Brandon
guys?
Cook.
What do you guys? I let Brandon Cooks walk. Actually, Brandon Cooks, I'm gonna assume retired because I couldn't find him on the free agency list. So, what do you guys think of my my free agency? I'm sure I know.
If I give
The
it a
whole
grade,
system's
I'm gonna rate it
flawed.
a B. I'm rated a B plus. Like the only problem that I have, honestly, is the DeMarcus Lawrence signing. That's
Okay.
really the only problem I have.
Not even the Osa? I thought you didn't really like the Osa move.
Well, I feel like the OSA is mainly because of the little app thing that will fuck
Yeah.
it up.
I tried all I could to get Osa to come back, but I also had it in my mind that I wasn't going to pay Osa insane money. I just don't feel he's worth it. BJ Hill can fill that hole pretty easily, and you still have Mozzie Smith, who maybe could be something. I really love the Darius Slayton signing. I went into free agency knowing that I was going to sign Darius Slayton. I like him as a wide receiver 2 or 3, somebody who can get open, somebody who is a deep threat when he needs to be, but can also play in the slot. And I wanted a secure number 2 in case the draft didn't fall the way I wanted it to, which unfortunately it didn't. So we'll move on to the draft. This is where I think you guys will like it. So in round 1, I did not trade my round 1 pick. Jonty actually went 2 picks earlier to the New Orleans Saints, so he was not available. I went into this draft saying that I was going to cut Terrence Steele, move Tyler Guyton to right tackle, and draft Kelvin Banks in round 1. Kelvin Banks was gone. He went to the San Francisco 49ers. So
What the fuck?
my immediate draft plan backfired, fell apart. I I really couldn't trade back at that point. The only teams that were offering to move up was fucking Philly and Detroit to picks 29 and 32. So I was like, no, I'm not moving down that far. I could have done that and gotten a haul in the later rounds, which looking back may have been a smart thing to do. But instead, somebody slipped to number 12, and I drafted Mason Graham, defensive tackle out of Michigan.
Yeah, bro. Nigga talking about he didn't want that damn pick like a few weeks ago. But on my fucking mama, that nigga want that shit now, nigga.
So
back then they didn't want us, but now they want us, nigga.
I still didn't
nigga.
necessarily want Mason Graham, but I couldn't ignore the fact that he dropped all the way to 12. And pairing with having no other option, pretty much, I did pick Mason Graham because there is still a need at defensive tackle. I said, okay, I can fix that. I can draft that defensive tackle and go there.
I ain't mad at it.
In round 2, I actually made a trade.
That's a top 5 player in the draft.
And
No, I was saying, whoa.
in round 2, I moved back. I went into round 2 having the idea that I was going to take Mike Green, that I might take, I might get Trey Harris, Siobhan Ravel if he fell. I was definitely going to take, but unfortunately all those guys were gone. Jalen Walker was also gone from Georgia, and Barrett Carter was gone. So all of my number 1 targets that I wanted at round 2 was gone. There was nobody that I really wanted until later in the rounds, except Amarion Hampton, who was there, but I skipped on him to kind of just pick up somebody else. I had no intention of taking him. So I traded with Kansas City, and I traded number 43 for number 63 and number 66. So I needed a third-round pick for trading back 20 spots. When I got to number 63, guess who was still there? Amarion Hampton.
Oh, wow.
So I took Amarion Hampton with number 63 in the second round. I cannot believe he made it that far. And I netted a
second round.
I netted a third-round pick as well.
What's wrong with Amarion Hampton?
What's wrong with Amarion Hampton in the second round?
I mean, what was the other players available second round?
Bro, you know Amarion Hampton's he's low key might be a late first round pick, bro.
Yeah. So
yeah, but
Miles,
it's just that running back class.
I went in,
bro.
I went in, and you'll find out pretty quickly why I drafted Amarion Hampton and why it was probably a good thing. I went into the second round trying my hardest to get Mike Green, and I couldn't do it. I also wanted an offensive tackle, but there wasn't any good offensive tackles to take.
What about that one safety from Texas?
He was gone. Jahdae Barron. Yeah, he was gone.
Yeah.
He went. He went pick 32 to the Eagles, which was weird.
Shit.
And Xavier Watts was also not there. So I missed out on the safeties. That's fine. Whatever. Round 3, top of round 3. I actually went into round 3 ready to draft Tez Johnson from Oregon. I knew we needed a solid number 3. I felt that Tez Johnson could develop into that big, bulky receiver who has some speed as well. But I actually pivoted, seeing my glaring need at offensive tackle. So I made a draft decision based off of need, and I drafted Marcus Mabau, offensive tackle from Purdue. He's actually one of the better offensive tackle options in the third round. He's actually rated a second-round pick. So I saw him drop all the way to the third and said, give me that. He's mine. He can play on the left or the right side. He also can swing into guard as well if you want to move Tyler Smith to left tackle. So he was kind of a versatile pick for me. I also have another third-round pick, which is our actual third-round pick. And I addressed my wide receiver need, drafting Savion Williams out of TCU.
Oh.
I could not believe that Savion Williams was still there. There were some good players on the board by then. Quincy Riley was still there for corner, but I didn't take him. To be honest, I didn't see him until I actually made my pick. But Quincy Riley was there. Aeneas Peebles was still there. Jeffrey Bassa was there, linebacker from Oregon.
What's it called? My fault for what's it called? Interrupting you. Yeah, interrupting you though. But I was gonna say, if that one wide receiver from Missouri or Arizona was still on the board of first round, I would say get him. And then if like you need a defensive tackle, I would say get Pebbles.
Tech McMillan or Luther Burden.
My boy Peebles.
So Burden was still there in round 1. But I didn't draft him just because I had already signed Darius Slayton and I knew I could get somebody later in the draft. So obviously we don't have a round 4 pick.
And when you made that TCU pick, what's it call it? Was Ja'Cory Brooks already gone?
Yeah. No. Between Savion Williams and Ja'Cory Brooks, I much preferred Savion Williams. Because Ja'Cory Brooks fits is kind of a similar build and a similar player to CeeDee Lamb and Darius Slayton. So I wanted somebody that was a little bit different, somebody who was more of a bulkier body. I wanted a deep threat more than a speedy receiver. So obviously, we don't have a 4th round pick. And this is why I said it was a good idea to get Omarion Hampton, because literally every single running back went off the board in round 4. Every single one of them. Judkins went the pick after round 3, after Savion Williams.
Cam Scatabo.
Cam Scatabo was gone. He went in round 4. Fucking Keldon Johnson went in round 4. Ollie Gordon was gone. Everybody was gone. Everybody. It was insane to see running back. I should have took a picture of it. It was insane. Every single team drafted every single running back.
Y'all right. Yeah, y'all was right. We should. Yeah, glad we took Omarion Hampton.
It was stupid.
Oh yeah.
So in round 5, I looked at my needs. I still needed a linebacker. I still needed some offensive guard help. Needed a backup quarterback because I didn't re-sign Cooper Rush.
Or Trey Lance.
But I saw a glaring need at linebacker and decided to plan for the future. And I selected Jeffrey Bassa from Oregon. He's a very good coverage linebacker. He can also rush the passer as well, but not really the best when it comes to that. I really took him in the idea that he was going to take Damone Clark's job eventually. And then with our 2nd round 5 pick, somebody was still there. Aeneas Peebles, defensive tackle out of Virginia Tech. I picked Aeneas Peebles because I felt that he could do a lot as a run stopper. If the Mazi Smith pick didn't end up panning out. The good thing about later round picks is there's not a whole lot of downsides, so you can stack at these different positions. Peebles also has the ability to play some defensive end, and he can also play at 3 technique or 4 technique. He's not really somebody you want playing defensive end full time for you, but he's kind of like a Chauncey Golston type player. With our 3rd, 5th round pick,
his size is kind of a problem, but
yeah, his size is a little bit of a problem. If he can bulk up, he'll be okay. With our 3rd and final 5th round pick, I looked at offensive guard. I need some assurance at offensive guard. So I picked Tyler Cooper, Minnesota. He's got a little bit of a strength issue that I think can be fixed easily, especially with this new offensive line coach we have. I think Tyler Cooper is a very raw but very potential-driven player. So I was able to get him in the 5th round. He also slid from round 4, which shouldn't have been possible. I did want to get Clay Webb at offensive guard, but I was unable to do it. I really wanted Clay Webb He is insane. In round 6, I decided to take my quarterback. I selected Riley Leonard, quarterback out of Notre Dame. Yeah, so it was really between Tyler Shook from Louisville or Riley Leonard. I actually thought about taking Jalen Milroe in the 3rd round, but I decided against it. Jackson Dart was gone way before then. Will Howard was gone. So I really just decided to draft Riley Leonard because I feel he can take on that backup QB role. Obviously, you don't want your backup QB to play much, but I think that he could do a good job. Our second 6th round pick, I decided to address a safety issue. And I drafted Shiloh Sanders.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Sanders.
That's insane.
It's literally Donovan Wilson with better coverage. It's literally Donovan Wilson with better coverage.
Shiloh has the ability to play both free safety and strong safety. He's for the most part, sound tackler. He can get over aggressive at times. Tends to make more highlight reel hits rather than actually wrapping up and tackling sometimes. But I think that an NFL team could beat that out of him for the most part. His size is a little bit of a concern. He's only 6 foot and he's like 210 pounds. So he's not really the ideal size for an NFL safety. But he also has the size to play slot corner if you need him to as well. Shiloh is also extremely raw in the fact that he's not really great in man coverage. So if you put him at slot, you better have some help for him. And then in round 7, rounding out my off-season plan, I decided to double dip at linebacker, but instead I decided to get a pass rushing linebacker, drafting Francisco Mauigoa out of Miami.
Yes.
I fell in love with Francisco Mauigoa when I made that draft video on him. I cannot believe that he is a projected 6th or 7th round pick by a lot of scouts. I think his production in college was insane. Even though he's a little bit of an older prospect, his weaknesses are all very fixable, and he could be a very good pass rushing linebacker for you. He is also very polished in his coverage. He could struggle at the next level against tight ends just because of his size, but I think that he can serve Dallas well in a pass rushing role and a reserve kick out into coverage. So that was my full off-season plan for the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, some holes. Draft didn't go the way I hoped it would, but what do you guys think about the off-season?
Pretty solid.
Yeah, we were never gonna get no big free agents, but
I would suck some dick as all-star free agency.
Shit, might as well. Man.
Oh, I wasn't muted, bro.
Like we got Darius Slayton. That's a pretty good serviceable. He can be number 2,
bro. Fact.
So,
and I like the draft too.
Out of everything, if I could change a couple of things, I would probably not sign BJ Hill because I did not expect to be able to find Aeneas Peebles in the 5th round still. I also
really hope he falls.
I mean, you can never go wrong with depth.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with depth. He would probably take somebody's like a Denzel Jackson spot or something like that. Linebacker.
How do y'all know all these player names?
Well, I do kind of do draft videos, so I kind of have to know their names.
You're right.
Probably the one pick that I would change. I probably wouldn't re-sign Eric Kendricks if I was going to double dip at linebacker. I didn't expect Jeffrey Bassa to be there. I kind of thought that Jeffrey Bassa was going to be gone by the time he got to round 5, especially getting past, teams like the the Browns and shit in round 4, I did not expect him to still be there. But I decided to draft him. I couldn't pass up on him. And, round 6 and round 7, you really don't care. I mean, right? Like, these guys are just depth guys. If they're a gem, great. If they're not, no harm, no foul. It's a 6th or 7th round pick. Who cares? So I've really liked doing this. I'm not going to lie. Because it's not as easy as you would think. You really have to think about it. And it gives kind of a perspective on what a lot of NFL GMs have to do. Because they have to sign in free agency. They have to do that stuff. But they also go through the draft, and there are some guys that you just can't pass on. But if they're a position that you've already signed in free agency or gave a ton of money to, you might find yourself in a little bit of a sticky situation there. And that's what I found myself in with signing B.J. Hill and then getting a defensive tackle in the draft. Already having Mozzie Smith and a couple of other good defensive tackles. So I was a little surprised at how it turned out. But I'm okay. I would probably grade it B-. I'd probably say B-.
It's the most realistic thing that we're probably gonna get.
Hey, yo, girl, I gotta go.
Okay.
All right, y'all boys have a good night.
You too.
You too, man.
So, yeah, I'd probably say it's a B-. What do you guys think?
I
I'd
like
say
it.
it's a B. I like it solely because we got a lot of depth. But if free agency, instead of signing B.J. Hill, I would have got a number 2 running back. Because do you really want Deuce Vaughn as your RB2?
Yeah,
Like-
that's another hole that I found myself in. In round 6, I could have drafted like a Devin Neal. He was still there.
You take no. Devin Neal, he's a 4th round, 3rd round type of player, bro.
The
You take
reason-
that regard.
The reason why I didn't take Devin Neal is because I knew I needed a backup quarterback. And I really liked either Riley Leonard or, Tyler Shook. And I had the idea that, well, if he's there in round 7, somehow I'll take him. If there's any running back in round 7, I'll take him. There wasn't. They were all projected undrafted guys. E.J. Smith was there. I was not drafting E.J. Smith. So, I mean, it could have been worse.
Would it be funny if we drafted him? If we drafted E.J. Smith and he turned out to be the greatest running back ever? That would be hilarious.
My dad keeps bringing up, Emmitt Smith didn't, wasn't favored by scouts. I'm like, Dad, Emmitt Smith still got drafted like 3rd overall. He still got drafted in the 1st round. His question marks were about his production in college, but he had all the measurables. E.J. Smith doesn't have that. And he did absolutely nothing in college. Emmitt Smith at least had, some upside to him, but not E.J. Smith. I would be okay. If I saw this as my offseason, I would be okay. Obviously, there would be things I would change. I plan on doing these more as well, and I might end up doing them for other teams, but I'm not sure. So, what do you guys think about? Sorry. What do you guys think about the Shiloh pick? Kind of interested on this one.
If he's
I
there,
loved it.
you know,
I loved it. Yes.
Shiloh.
I loved it.
Shiloh's been one of the risers in this year's draft process. He had a pretty solid performance at the Shrine Bowl. I'd be surprised if Shiloh went undrafted by this point.
But look, here's the thing. In his whole 6-year college career, the guy only allowed 500 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
At
That's
Colorado, he only allowed 1 touchdown in Colorado. We all know it was that pick play against Cincinnati. They did a little pick play. He just got caught up in his own guy.
But
So
to be fair, To be fair, safeties also don't account for a lot of yards in stats. So it's really all game film. Shiloh has the potential to rise the most. And that's the thing with a lot of my videos, a lot of my draft videos is I don't expect these draft videos to hold up well. I expect the future to be cruel to them. I think a lot of them will be wrong. I'm sure there will be guys that get drafted that shouldn't. I'm sure there will be guys that go undrafted that shouldn't. And I'm sure there will be guys that, like Shiloh, I have a 7th round grade on him. I wouldn't be surprised if Shiloh went in the 4th or 5th. And that's,
to be honest, it all depends on his 40 to me. If he runs a 4.5 or 4.6, he's going up around, in my opinion.
A lot of
he
the
runs like
guys
low
that you
4.6.
videos on really gotta have a good pro day for real.
Yeah.
And a great
It's Taj,
combine.
what's that dude? That 6'5" receiver, Taj Felton or something like that?
Daquan
Yeah,
Felton.
that guy. Daquan
Yeah,
Felton,
Daquan
yeah.
Felton. Yeah, he's going to need a great pro day for him to get to the 5th round.
So he's a 7th round pick right now. And that's the thing when Justin told me that he told me I needed to check my check my sources, and I'm like, well, I did. And that's what it was. That, and I get a lot of these guys don't expect themselves to be like 7th round picks, undrafted guys. But, a lot of these guys in these draft videos are going to need fantastic pro days. They're going to need, they're not going to get invited to the combine, most of them. Like Savion Williams, Ja'Cory Brooks, they might get invited to the combine. Peebles might be invited. But, a lot of these guys are just they're not going to get the national exposure. So they have, whatever national exposure they do get, whatever interviews they get from teams are going to have to be top tier. They cannot mess these up. And if they do, they're going to suffer. And that's kind of the downside with like being a later round pick versus a 1st or 2nd round pick. If you have a bad interview as a 1st round pick or your combine's not the greatest, you're not going to drop super far. You might drop out of the 1st round, but you're not going to drop to like a 6th round pick.
It's almost like when you get drafted, like 1st to 7th round, like you're a 1st round pick, you're probably making the roster, but you're 7th round pick, you got to work so hard to even try to make the roster.
Right, and it's like, if you're a 1st round pick, you are making the roster, and that's just that's just the downside with being, that's just the downside with being, a lower rated pick because, like I said earlier, it's a 7th round pick, for Francisco Maligoa and Shiloh Sanders. They're 6th and 7th round pick. Who cares? That's the same mindset that these NFL teams have. They're 6th and 7th round picks. If they're great, awesome. We'll keep them on the roster. If they're not good enough, we'll cut them. We have no problem doing that because it's a 6th or 7th round pick. Who cares? That's the exact same mentality they have. I also am not oblivious to the fact that I did not necessarily correct my tackle issue. You would have to, with this current plan, you would have to shuffle your offensive line most likely. Because Marcus Mabau is a good tackle, but I'm not so 100% sure on how he's going to translate to the NFL. If he's going to be a guard, if he's going to be a tackle. I don't have the exact measurables on him, but I know that a lot of NFL teams feel that he's a better tackle. But you're also going to have the issue of you're going to have to start a rookie at tackle or guard again. It's not always an ideal thing. I really wanted Clay Webb. Clay Webb is one of the best later round offensive guards in this year's draft, and I do plan on making a video on him eventually. Man, I was sad to see him not make it to my 2nd round, my 2nd, 5th round pick.
Well, luckily, this is the internet. Luckily, this name.
Luckily,
let's hope some of those kids have some character issues where they just lie. You know what I'm saying?
You already know,
You know, we love drafting
a
our-
little guy with some character issues.
Right.
You're a little concerned about that
Hey,
character.
let's just hope Mason Graham get caught with the Crips. Let's just hope that happens.
I'm not gonna lie. I did not want Mason Graham in round 1, but he was the best player available. I couldn't pass on him.
Hey,
No,
man, that's
like
the
I
best
said, remember
attack
that
on the
mock
country.
draft? Remember that mock draft where I said get Mason Graham for the Cowboys or something? I
Yeah.
said you don't pass on that guy. He's a top five. You know, it's like the Micah Parsons situation. You just don't pass on. You just don't pass on that guy. Like the CD Lamb situation. You just
You
don't
just
pass
don't
on
pass
that
on
guy.
that guy. Yeah, yeah.
I get it. And, you know, taking Mason Graham kind of through my when Jonty and Kelvin Banks were off the board and nobody wanted to trade up, that kind of screwed me. I'm not gonna lie, because I had no intention of taking. I made every attempt to not draft Mason Graham. I'm not gonna lie. I tried so hard to trade back. I tried so hard to just move back. Can I just move to like number 16 or number 20 or whatever? No, the only teams that wanted to offer a trade was fucking the Lions and the Eagles. I'm like, no, I'm not moving back to pick number 29 and 30 or 32. But that's okay. I might do a another one where I do trade back in one of those. But I don't know. It literally took up my entire sheet of paper, by the way. Like everything that I wrote. My hand hurts.
Jeez. How did OKC still beat us? I thought we were winning.
Okay. Well, it was going to be a shorter podcast. And we are at about 10:30. Guys, do we have anything else to add before we sign off for the day?
Cobra
I
Kai
got one
is
thing.
having the last
I
5
got-
episodes tomorrow. Go watch it. It's the
I got
last
one
5
thing.
episodes of the last season, man. Cobra Kai never died.
Fuck Cobra Kai. But you know what? Know what else though? Know what else though? It's not.
What?
Huh? Huh?
It's not.
We cannot hear a word you're
He's breaking
saying.
the sound barrier.
Telling you, bro, mustard, bro. I'm just
Oh,
screaming
he was
mustard,
saying
bro.
mustard.
Mustard. Okay. Fantastic. All right, guys. Well, that was
Cobra Kai!
that was the Depressed Dallas Boys podcast. We go live every Wednesday, and if you guys want to catch
It's probably A minor.
if you guys want to catch the other episodes, they're in my playlist on my YouTube channel. I also upload at least 3 videos a week for draft analysis on later round picks. All right, guys. You have a good rest